Hey, good afternoon. It's the last day of the year and the last show of the year, and we're going to whoop it up, and we're still sober, so that's a good thing too. So, welcome to the Sentinel Circle, our live Wednesday show. We're going to be talking about some topicality today and some interesting events of the past year, and we'll be teasing some stuff we're doing next week regarding the new year because it'll be new. And it'll be a nice, it's like imagine 2025 as Joe Biden into pins. No, don't think about that. That's bad. Think about something nice, full in the year on nice notes. But speaking of nice notes, two of the nicest people I know are here with us today. First, Chris Cordani, who runs everything. Hey, Chris.
Hey-o, how you doing? Practicing the hey-os.
Hey-o. Well, we're going to send you back to Ed McMahon school because you're not getting the guttural sound you need for that. So,
well, Tony, there are a couple of things I want to promote because we have a lot of great things happening with
sure.
your Sentinel Circle coming in
Yeah.
the next year. 2026 is going to be interesting. The first show you're going to kick off on how you would have fixed things that happened in 2025 and of course last couple of years, handled the issues maybe better than some other people have, if you will.
Yeah.
The other thing is we're going to announce the opening of a daycare center because apparently there's a lot of money in that. We don't even have to have kids.
So I think it's the best daycare centers don't have kids. Did you know that? It's a truth. It's a truth.
Well, they're quieter. I can
it's
tell
true.
you
It's factually obvious, right? So speaking of something that's factually obvious, bring in our good friend and guest for the end of the year is Mike McCormick.
Yes.
It must be Mike because I see his name on the book.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Chris. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy almost New Year.
I know it's too late for Christmas, but for birthdays, go get his books, Almost Insurmountable Evil. That's about the Joe Biden eating potted meat, right? That's the story of Joe Biden eating potted meat. And
then, he's a bad guy.
Obviously, I still think we had to impeach him and imprison him. Just saying. That's a
I'm working
New
on
Year's
it.
resolution and waiting. Imprisoning Joe Biden. So,
and I got a new book out.
Another.
It's a novel.
Oh,
The Big Burn. It comes out. It's available now you can order it on Amazon, and it's coming out through the Substack bookstore on Monday, January 6th.
Wow.
That's a new one.
That's great.
This is great.
It's a book. It's a whimsical look at a guy who has the great idea to start a company as sort of a side business that burns up dead people and gives them Viking funeral pyres.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's a romance. So they do a lot of romantic activities around burning up dead people.
Wow.
It's darkly humorous.
You would
probably really like it, Tony.
You ought to have a scratch and sniff in the back for like the smell of the Viking funeral. I think that'd be great. That would add to sales there, Mike. That would be great. By the way, rumor has it, maybe Chris knows this. Chuck Schumer smells like burnt wet dog. Is that true? Is that true? I've heard that. I don't know. I don't know the guy. So
we could use a case to impeach and imprison him too. How about that?
That's right.
That's from Ghostbusters. Right. Burned wet dog.
Oh,
he probably does smell like that, doesn't he?
Hi, Elizabeth.
So, well, let's get to something that's not burnt, but it's kind of wet and stinky, which is daycares. But of course, they're not wet or stinky if there's no kids, right? Right, Chris?
Well, again, less diaper smell. Well, I'm not sure about that at this point, to be honest with you.
That's
it all depends.
Well, it depends. No, that's Joe Biden wears Depends. So
that's a good one. Well,
all right. So let's start off. So I have a little rant I want to do. First off, why on earth are we paying taxes if we know, and this is a stat I got from listening to my friend Larry O'Connor, who was filling in for Mark Levine last night. According to Larry O'Connor, I don't doubt it because he's a friend and plus he's, I'm sure speaking accurately. The Treasury Department knows that 21% of all checks written by the Treasury is fraud. 21%.
Wow.
And they handle $7 trillion a year.
How too much?
What the hell? And I think that's accurate. So that's my first. It's like, why are we even paying taxes if that's the case? Secondly, I'm asking the question: why is the federal government involved in daycare? I looked at the Constitution. Hold on. I got a copy here.
We're going to get
There it
that
is.
copy very soon.
I got a copy of the Constitution, and there's nothing in there about daycare.
Yeah. Kind of a strange turn of events. Isn't
I
it?
looked pretty close, but I don't see a word about daycare in there anywhere regarding anybody in the federal government running it. I don't know. Mike, am I missing something?
Yes, we're missing legitimacy and justice and fairness. We're missing that. We've been missing it for a long time. It makes me actually question the origin of this war in Somalia, doesn't it? Was it 1993, Tony? Were you in the military back then?
Yeah, I was running I was the chief of Army's clandestine human intelligence program, and we were running operations in Mogadishu. Yeah, I was there during the Black Hawk Down events as a serving line officer. Yeah.
Yeah, it really makes you question why they decided to send us over there and do all that stuff.
Yep.
I mean, it's really kind of scary. So,
so I think there's some legitimate questions that need to be asked regarding that whole thing, because I think a lot of our problems, Mike, and you know this better than me, started under Clinton.
Right.
Just because they don't like each other doesn't mean they don't work together. So Clinton and the Obamas, the Bidens, while I don't necessarily think they like each other, they're all committed to a framework of ending the republic and moving us into a socialist republic of, like communism. But let's go forward to the current events. Now, secondly, why on earth, if you do import Somalis, would you put them in the north? It's like
right.
It's colder than hell. I mean, I have friends up in Minneapolis and Brainerd who I talk to, and it's like, oh yeah, we're having a high of 18 today.
Right.
Okay.
I want to know if Ted Baxter would have been reporting on this if it happened.
That's right. Very Tyler Moore, right?
Reporting on it. He would have been called a racist by Governor Twinkletoes.
Right, but then he would have said, I haven't raced in a long time, not since the Indy 500. There we go. That's what he would say.
That's true. All right. So, but but the two things I do want us to focus on for a second here, Mike, to that point is, if we know, now we do know that 21% of the Treasury's expenditures are false. I mean, again, the Treasury handles $7 trillion a year. That's a hell of a lot of money.
Right.
If we know that 21% of that's going to fraud, what's up with that? What do you think?
Well, so, Chris and I were chatting about this briefly. So now who is the we that knows this? Is it all of us, all of our Americans, or is it just our MAGA folks, our Trump supporters that know this and believe this? Like I listen to Larry Connor on my radio here. Smart guy, knows what he's doing. He's dialed in. I have no doubt that he's got the right statistics there.
Yeah, me too.
So, who's the we? Because there's a lot of people in this city who probably know that and don't care. So then, what do we do with the we? Do we get to have a voice of the we through our federal government, or do we have to go through our state governments? Because they've clearly corrupted several state governments. That's what this exactly is. It goes right into the governor's office.
Yeah. Well, I covered this last night on the Right Squad, and the night before I was on 2 nights in a row. And as a county commissioner, I know, Mike, what we have to do at the local level regarding social services. I'm actually a county commissioner, but before I became a county commissioner, I was on social services overseeing that. And I know that there are checks and balances available that would take a state level official to override. That is to say, if we see something, because we manage federal, state, and local funds. Thank you, Poet. I think I know who you are.
I like that name.
Anyway, so we have to manage that. And so, Mike, when something's not right, we kind of figure it out in about 6 months. It's like, there's something wrong here. We need to expand the investigation. And then we have someone actually go and do it. Because a lot of this stuff comes up just by anomalies in the numbers. Something's up by anomalies in the numbers. And then you have to go back and check certifications and licensing, all that. So for this to have gone on to reach 8 to 12 to 20, I don't know which estimate's correct now, but upwards of 18 to 20 billion dollars, you had to have a lot of people looking the other way. Am I right? I mean,
for a long time. They've been doing this. They've been working on this scam and revealing this scam probably going back 10 years, like James O'Keefe was one of the first ones. And they brought it out and it didn't go anywhere. And so now it's going somewhere.
Well, here's the thing. James O'Keefe, the mainstream media always pounces on him the second he puts something out. So lefties, it was in fashion for a long time for the lefties and to just say, hey, this is no good. It's just James O'Keefe. He edits things. Well, this is another guy, Nick Shirley. I want to play this video because this is not an edited video. It's not a presentation. It's a journalist who knocked on a door. And
hold on before you play it. Spoiler alert.
Yes.
For those who follow the team, I was on, as I said, the Right Squad 2 nights ago. And of course, my nemesis, Jason, was on there. And everybody loves to hate Jason. So, but let me make this comment before we play it, because on air, Jason said, because he's trying to defend fraud, apparently, oh, that daycare was shut down for a full year. Now, it's not true. It's not true. And I called him out on the spot. It's not true. And then last night when I was on with him again, because obviously more information came out, they bust kids into the daycare. Oh, it's like, oh yeah, they were always here. And so I called him out on the air and I said, oh, by the way, someone on this panel last night said that daycare had been shut down a year. My point being is they always try to lie and they don't get fact checked, right?
Yeah, right.
Never.
Anyway, go ahead, keep going. I just want to make that point.
Clause 83. I gotta tell you, Clause 83, like in the young ones, except for Democrats, everything. Yep. So here we go. Here, just if anybody hasn't seen this yet that's watching this video, here it is.
How are you? I would like to see if I could bring little Joey, my son, little Joey here. Is there paperwork? Can I check out the daycare? No.
No.
Why can't
kids? We don't want kids here.
Yeah. We don't need no stinking kids.
We don't like that diaper smell. No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but if can I get paperwork or anything to submit my son, little Joey, to come in here to daycare?
Little Joey. Yeah.
We'd really like to put Joey in the daycare. We've heard great things.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. You have?
What's a business card?
No, I would like your business card, actually.
Yeah.
You talk to your manager.
Okay, can I speak with somebody? Where are the children at?
Yeah.
Are the children?
Now she pulls out the phone. See, here's the thing. I don't think she expected anybody to come into this door.
No, of course not.
The fix was in for a very long time.
Right.
The problem is, and they were protected after O'Keefe's. The problem was independent journalists can do what they want. Videos like this go viral, and you cannot challenge. You cannot say this is edited to make it look better. This is just a journalist's phone, and that's it. No camera crew, no editing on the way home.
Here today?
No.
No children.
Yes.
Why are there no children?
Two up next time.
Wait a minute, I got you. This may be an adult daycare center, like those jobs where, like, you ever see those TikTokers that say my first 4 days on the job or whatever, and they sit there, all they do with their little girls or young girls with 20, 21, 22-year-olds, they come out of college, all they do is sit in meetings all day and drink coffee. That's adult daycare. Maybe this is like that, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, she's got a phone out. She's a doorstop. They hired a lousy doorstopper, didn't they? Should have had a big burly bouncer guy.
Well, she's probably only getting minimum wage. I mean, God knows they don't want to give these people real money. That all goes to Somalia for the terrorists.
Right. That's right.
Let's watch some.
Would my son, little Joey, have friends to play with here?
No.
No.
He'd be the only kid.
No friend for little Joey. Dang it. Well,
and if it was full, he'd probably be the only kid eating bacon. So, that's another
right.
story.
well, have a great rest of your day. So,
You know what I say? Next time, bring a dog.
That's great. I love that. Now, according to the left, this is all fake. I've been, this guy lies. This is not true. It's like,
Yeah, so let's get into that because Ms. Now or whatever you want to call it, Ms. Now
And,
or
and
MS.
hey,
nobody's
spoiler
watching.
alert, there's no association of Microsoft and them. There
Right.
hasn't been any MS relationship since the beginning of the network.
Right. So here we go.
Anyway,
Here is
sorry.
Ms. Now
Yeah.
talking about the. They're basically they seem to be commissioned to try to run defense for this. All right, maybe
Yeah.
the 6 or 7 people that are watching will believe it.
Sure. So these were funds that were meant to go to help feed hungry people during the COVID pandemic, to help keep people
Listen
in
to
their
this sycophant.
homes who were at risk of homelessness. So, first of all, if there is fraud there, that should be fully investigated, no matter where it is,
Duh.
whether it's in a Democratic-led state, a
Yeah.
Republican
Here it comes, though.
led state. I mean, let's pull back. So absolutely, it should be investigated. The question is, why is this a priority in a different kind of way? The
Oh, the race card's coming.
politicization of the DOJ and the FBI is undeniable. So whether they are reliable narrators is the big question. And this is what happens when you weaponize and politicize federal agencies that are not meant to be, politicized.
Well, that leads me to you, Mike. I think you sat through an entire administration
Yeah.
that specialized in weaponizing and politicizing the DOJ. Have you not?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. I watched Joe Biden and Barack Obama do it alongside with their friends Eric Holder and what was the woman's name who replaced him?
Oh, she was the one that met with Clinton on the
Lynch.
airplane.
Loretta
yeah,
Lynch.
Loretta Lynch.
Loretta Lynch. That's right.
Get-
So yeah,
Get down,
that's what they
Loretta.
did.
Song? There's a Get Back, Loretta. Get back, Loretta.
That's right.
I don't know. I was like Loretta Lynn, but not Loretta.
Yeah.
Lynch.
So all they did was politicize. And Holder, Holder used to be the U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C. That was during the Clinton years. So you're talking about this continuity of corruption, Clinton through Obama with Holder in there. And one of the guys who worked with Holder is our friend Judge James Boasberg. Jeb Boasberg,
yeah.
The guy who throws everything that Donald Trump wants to do back in his face and says, oh, no, not today. So, yeah, there's been this ongoing politicization of the Department of Justice, and that's the Democrats. That's what they did.
And Eric Holder's mouth has been shooting off over the last couple of months anyway, since this whole situation with Trump holding people accountable. But there he is, Eric Holder at his worst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Your face is my case.
Gentlemen, I have a couple of fun videos for you. Did you see this
All
one
right.
floating around, this AI video floating around? I want to post a disclaimer. It's not real. It's AI. It's floating around about the Somali, these Somali walls. I guess they're juxtaposing the Somali walls situation with this video here, advertising daycare centers in Minneapolis. Want to check it out?
Yeah, sure.
This is funny, by the way. Had to play. It's going viral if you haven't seen it yet.
Welcome to the Leering Center, where learning is option. Never mind. Welcome to the Trap House. What the hell? This is my meth cook setup. Look, this is the tin foil, the spoon with the white rock on it, and some chemistry equipment.
And is that Harry Sishin?
I think that's the journalist guy.
That's the journalist guy there. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know who that was. It's hard to tell. I'm nearsighted. I just had another eye operation, so that's what happened.
Yeah. And let's talk about this for a second while we're rolling this. So they're going to investigate her because she went from like $65,000 in debt when she was elected to $30 million. How does that happen on a congresswoman's salary?
Right. Well,
That's
we're
him.
looking at it, right? Just so much. 20% of 7 trillion a year is part of it.
Yeah.
And Pelosi got her chunk, and Joe Biden and Hunter and all those goons got their chunk.
Yeah.
Kamala, there's
Oh, if you're wondering-
Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah, and I can't play this whole video because there's a lot of music involved, and there's gonna be a copyright issue. But you know how
Yeah.
that sort of thing works.
Oh, yeah.
There is something funny too. Have you guys ever heard of an internet video a website called Weeble's Stuff? I used to
No.
love watching that back in the I guess last decade. Weeble's Stuff.
No, I
Never
haven't.
heard of it.
They had a very popular video called Kenya. I'll get to that. I'll play this for you a little bit here. It's about tourism in Kenya. Just a little fun.
Can see lions only in Kenya. Come to Kenya, we've got lions.
All right. I'm doing that because there was another issue. Remember the whole thing with the Somali pirates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they actually did another video to this, a little fun parody video, and I thought this was a little bit relevant today. So they actually did a video about Somali pirates.
We're gonna fight pirates off
Same
the coast of Somalia. Off the coast of Somalia, we've got pirates.
There's a whole video and everything, but it's kind of funny. Check it out if you're watching this. Look it up. Weeble stuff is hilarious, but it's all still relevant today. The pirates overseas there, and of course now in this country.
Well,
Right.
Well, as Mike's point, I think we need to go back and look at the origins of how Somalis ended up in Minnesota. That's just not a natural fit.
Well, it's not just Minnesota.
No,
Right.
no, you got folks in Detroit.
You also have that's Dearborn.
Right.
Yep, Dearborn. You also have Massachusetts now and Ohio. Have
Yeah.
you seen the videos coming out of Ohio?
So here's a memory lane trip for you. My first trip aboard Air Force One with Bush in 2003, we went to Dearborn, Michigan, to talk to all the very jubilant Arabs there who were really excited about the idea that he was about to invade Baghdad. So this has been, this is a handoff, right? Handoff from Clinton into the Bush administration, handed off up the ladder. It's been there for a long time.
It's interesting some of these places to pick. And first off, I've been a proponent. I'm just going to be blunt. Why are they coming here? There are Arab nations who are very wealthy, very wealthy. Saudi Arabia, Jordan's no slouch. Egypt, if you want to fudge a bit, so to speak, Turkey. Not that I'm making any references to Lawrence of Arabia, just saying, no prison scenes.
Not even Sinbad.
But I'm just saying that there are better suited locations, both culturally and linguistically, for them to be than here. Right? I mean, what am I missing here?
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
Can I give you?
And there are allies.
I'll throw this to you too, Mike, because it's like the Palestinians. They were kicked out of every one of these countries. None of these Arab countries will take the Palestinians either. I don't think they're going to want to take in the Somali.
Yeah, no. And, it's quick aside. In 2016, I did a Biden trip. We went to Jordan to look at basically the refugee camps that American people were paying for out in the desert. We were giving Jordan billions of dollars a year to house Syrian refugees out of the Syrian war. And we never hear about where the money went, what they were spending it on. It's just our money flows into these places. And then the refugees flow here. And, unless the state stands up for it and sort of defends themselves against it, they get pulled into it, or they're all in on it and they get paid off for it. And it's, again, I go back to who's the we? Who can we count on to represent us in this situation? Who can we count on?
Hey, we're speechless. How about that? You left us both speechless on that one.
Well, I think there's some fundamental things we have to look at here, because this goes back to the immigration policy now it's being questioned, even legal immigration, because a lot of these folks came here legally, sort of. And I think one of the penalties you're talking about, and we should probably talk about a little bit, is basically sending people back if they get caught in the fraud. And I suspect there's going to be a lot of them. So, Mike, should we send them back?
Send them back.
Yeah.
Send them back as fast as possible. C-17s, C-130s.
Yeah.
Hold them up.
I have no problem with that. As a matter of fact, Chris, what do you think? I mean, I think we should just send them back. It's like, okay, we're not going to try you, but you're going home.
Well, maybe we should do what the Mets would do in this situation. Make a trade. How about that? We can trade the Somalis and bring back some Cubans who are escaping communism. Some of these people who want to escape communism and come here and work and maybe contribute to American society. Because what people don't realize is we on the right, center right, wherever you want to put us, because I guess if you're the right of Stalin, you're automatically on the right. We like immigration. You just have to come in and do it the right way. And when
Right.
you come here, be part of us. We'll welcome you with open arms. Don't
well,
cheat
let-
the
let me-
taxpayers.
Right now, President Trump's putting in place a program for foreign workers where a company wanting to bring in foreign workers have to pay money. I'm all for that. It's like, fine. I think there's qualified Americans. I think there would be more qualified Americans for good paying jobs. Just saying. And by the way, let me get this on the table because I'm tired of the left talking about these immigrants, illegal or otherwise, doing menial jobs. For example, working in the fields. As I sit, I'm looking out on my lawn. Across from my lawn is a farm, a working farm. They just harvested cotton about a month and a half ago. Not a single minority was involved, illegal or otherwise. It was just people who get in on these big machines and they drive combines and they harvest things. So whenever I hear the left talking about, oh, you need to have people picking, harvesting cotton, it's like we live in the 21st century. Most of those jobs have been automated. So the more they say racist things like we have to have people picking our food, it's like, dude, there's automation that does about 90% of that job now. And are the minorities doing operating equipment? Yeah, probably. Good for them. But they're not out there wearing sombreros, picking cherries. Just
Right.
saying. I'm just tired of this nonsense. But I digress about the whole.
Tony, are you seeing any sort of what we would consider people who may have been in America illegally leaving your area?
No.
I'm seeing a fair amount of it around here in Montgomery County. I'm seeing
Well, I'm not surprised there. I was just up
Yeah.
in the DC area, and
Yeah.
I could see that. Arlington County in Northern Virginia.
That area is there's a lot of I think there's a lot of fear in this area, in this region, the DMV region, District of DC, Maryland, Virginia. And there has been some, and I think mostly it's people leaving on their own. They don't want to be here anymore because there's a threat or they get paid to leave. So there has been some success in that. And it's kind of impacting. Maryland is very sure-footed about being democratic, very, positive, securely democratic for a long time. But I think that that the Trump pressure is pushing and working at a significant level. I really think that in certain places. And I think the Somali thing is part of that. It was part of a broader campaign, and they're pulling it out now. And I hope we get to see some real results out of it this year.
Well, that's interesting because and we want to talk about some of the biggest stories of 2025.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and it was a little under the radar story. It's more of a conglomerate of stories, if you will. The far left, we'll put it this way, the globalists of the world, they've taken severe beatings all year.
Right.
From Trump onward. We can talk about Javier Milei's reelection in Argentina, solidifying their commitment against communism and globalism. We also have the departure, the disgraceful departure, retirement, if you will, of Klaus Schwab here.
Right.
Of course. The fact is, this guy tried to control the world for all these years. Now that he can't, I know he was 88, but he was out. He was disgraced, misusing funds. And they let him off, but still, it shows how disgraceful these people were. They took a beating.
Well, before we get off that, I want to cap it off regarding what we were just talking about regarding the Somali daycare and our own government. We'll get to, but I just want to say something for the audience to understand. We need to rethink why we pay taxes and if we should pay taxes. I think there's a legitimate movement to be looked at to just say, until you fix things, I'm not paying you anything. Just saying, because there's a growing movement of people who are just, by the way, I've heard about this because I know some of them, they aren't paying taxes. Since COVID, they said, yeah, we're not going to pay. And I'm just saying that the more American citizens who wake up and say, yeah, I'm not going to give you my money, the more it's going to finally impact on how, And so, and again, I asked the question: if you know that a quarter of what we pay in goes to fraud, why are we doing it? Because we know it. We know it's fraud. Secondly, daycare. We need to get out of the daycare business. We get all these things that the federal government has no right to be doing. 90% of the federal government's shenanigans would go away if we stop trying to interfere or do local things. The federal government should be doing interstate commerce and international stuff. That's it. All this other stuff should be state and local. Just saying. So just want to throw that in there to remind people we need to rethink the whole shape of how we do things with the federal government. So
I want to throw one little monkey wrench into that. A lot of this is happening in blue cities and blue areas, which does require the cooperation of such governments.
Yeah.
So they'll find a way to do the quid pro nos on this whole thing too. And that's and keep in mind there is a reason why there are Democrat enclaves in certain blue areas, because they'll get the cooperation, they'll get the quid pro quo, and they'll get, of course, an extra seat in Congress.
That's why it's got to stop. That's why it's got to stop. Yeah. Sorry. All right, back to your list, Chris. Sorry about that, but
that's okay, because I want to know what from what everybody here thinks. Those who are watching, those who are listening, and of course you gentlemen. I want to know what you think of the biggest stories. Mine is the globalists taking a huge beating. Having said that, I want to push a little bit on that, because if you like what we're doing, share the show. Check it out. Follow us, like us, subscribe. We've renamed the channel Tony Shaffer because, well, it's a nicer name.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. So the YouTube channel is now Tony Shaffer, and the Rumble channel, that's changing over to Tony Shaffer. So everything, it just sounds cooler, doesn't it? It's like it's like if Happy
I didn't
Days
vote for this, by the way, just for those paying attention. I didn't vote for this.
No,
I'm going along with it.
This was my suggestion at first, by the way.
I'm like a Somali that's been offered a free daycare, and I'm going along with it.
Well, the way I see it, it's like calling Happy Days the Fonz Show. How about that? Is that
That's
much
right?
better?
That's right.
Yeah.
I got to tell you guys real quick. I think two of the biggest wins from 2025 happening right now in our great capital city of Washington is Trump renaming the Kennedy Center and putting together the Trump Ballroom at the White House. That has got the leftists going ballistic. Ballistic.
Yeah, I mean, I was in D.C. last couple of days doing work, and our side, I don't know of anybody who's really like, okay, yeah, whatever, we don't care. But man, the left is being personally offended. Everybody on the left is personally offended by both. And it's kind of like, we don't care. It's like, yeah, go do it. I don't, Rick Grinnell, God bless Rick. Go do stuff.
Look,
by the way,
ballroom's necessary.
I was told by someone, Mike, that you might know. It's like some of the folks who are offended really aren't regarding the Kennedy Center, because some of the Kennedy Center board, I was told even too, the former board members, because a lot of lefties recognize the Kennedy Center was on a downward death spiral.
Yes.
Nobody was going. They couldn't book anybody. They lost track of the fact it's a freaking business.
Yeah.
And so
it was expensive and it was unappealing, expensive and unappealing.
Yeah.
For somebody who lived in DC. I used to go to the Kennedy Center. I watched all kinds of fun stuff there when I was a kid, in college and after college. Never went back since the 90s. Never went back. Yeah. Just got weird.
Well, if you don't put out good quality programming, nobody's going to show up. All right, I get that. I get that. The whole thing. Trump likes to troll the liberals. I don't like wasting taxpayer money on it. And I'm explaining this because I like it on that one level, but on the other level, I'm in New York, and we sat through Andrew Cuomo renaming the Tappan Zee Bridge to the Mario M. Cuomo Bridge. It's a waste of taxpayer money.
Well, they do that, Chris. I mean, I attended the Nutcracker at the Ed Koch Ballet Center, and I know Ed Koch never danced to ballet in his life. Just saying.
That's great. And now, of course,
the
Ed
Nutcracker. He's not a ballet guy. Just saying.
Yep, it's been replaced with the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez story. That's the new play. It's also called the Nutcracker, by the way. But on another huge beating that isn't really making the big news, what it should. That's that the globalists took this year was very recently, and that was the election of President Cast out of in Chile. Chile rejected the Communist Party, who, by the way, hid its symbols. They actually they were the ones supporting this broad who was running against them. The leftists owned this country for a long time, but the Communist Party was so ashamed of itself it had to hide the symbols during this during this whole campaign, and they still lost because the people weren't fooled.
Yeah.
So
What?
real
Yeah,
quick,
go ahead.
that goes. So the Communist Party. This goes to was the number one slogan that people lived under in communist economies. This I know this because I was married to a woman who grew up in a communist economy in Hungary. It was everybody has a job, but nobody works. And that's what we're starting to see. That's what you're seeing this. That's what the Somali thing is. That's what they got tired of in Chile because they saw it working the other way in Argentina when Milei got elected. And we're actually seeing the everybody has a job, but nobody works occurring in our friends in England and in Europe. And they're starting to get frustrated about it. And that's what the left is. They're on their defense about it right now in 2025, 26.
Well, yeah. So, and to that point, Mike, I'm a child of the Cold War. I spent time with my friend and mentor, Dr. Chris Lehman, over the last couple of days. He's John Lehman's brother. I'm a Reagan guy. You all know that. And just looking at the damage socialism and communism does, how is it nobody ever learns, Mike? I mean, how is it nobody gets the message? I don't understand.
Right. Yeah.
Because we've been fighting the communists forever. It's like.
Yeah. They pulled they kind of pulled down the wall, and then it sort of got, then they started using the U.S. system to corrupt. They came in and corrupted us. We'll get to the bottom. I think there's a lot more coming out. I think the Somali thing is the tip of the iceberg of the sort of levels of operations that were put in place by Democrats in these various places as a result to empower themselves. And I have confidence, I maybe misplaced confidence. I have confidence the FBI is going to get to some actual arrests this year. I really hope they will. I don't know if you guys saw my Substack.
Let's talk about that. I want to hit that, but let me finish on the economic note. So one of the things that Zoran Mondami is going to do, apparently with Catherine Hochul's approval, with her approval, he's going to screw around with the real estate market. So this is what they're going to do. Any sale of any building has to be announced to the city. The city has to say, oh, hold on a second. We want to check with nonprofits to see if they want to buy it first, because nonprofits are going to convert it into something for the people. And if there's no nonprofit available, you've got to then tell the city gives it like a month. So if you want to sell something, Mike, you got to wait for a month while the city screws around and tries to find someone else to buy it. And then, oh, by the way, then if there's no nonprofit, then they get to tell you what they think ought to be regarding who can buy it.
Wow.
That's freaking communism.
That is freaking communism. That is freaking communism. Wow.
Yep. Yeah, you get or SOL, if you will, if you're a landlord or a business owner, if that's the case.
So I'm hearing this, and and again, this was, I think, what was it, Larry or one of the guys I was listening to on WMAL over the weekend, last couple of days, talk about it. It's like this is literally communism, and I think it's going to collapse the real estate market in Manhattan. And man, when that happens, there goes their tax base. Just saying, I don't think they understand what they're screwing with.
I want to throw another edge to this here. A lot of the land, a lot of the buildings, if you will, are owned by Chinese Communist Party interests. Those who are associated with the Chinese Communist Party. They have one of their own in office now. I have a feeling those rules will not apply. These extra taxes,
we'll see.
All this social will not apply to the fellow communists.
Well, see, the Chinese are very insidious, because when they go into these deals, they offer the other side Kung Pao chicken for life. It's like, hey, if you deal with us, we're going to make sure you get airlifted every day Kung Pao chicken. Just saying.
Hey, Zoran likes his chicken spicy.
That's right. And for those who are really loyal, they get General Zhao's chicken. Just saying, that's the upgrade there.
Wow.
I know. Anyway, back to Mike's point. No, I don't know. I want to go back to Mike's point, which is DOJ. So off the record, I can't tell you who I was talking to, but he's a correspondent who covers DOJ. I'm just going to be blunt. People are fed up with Kash Patel. I'm hearing people are fed up.
Yeah.
Fed up. As in, like, Dan Bongino's fed up, although I don't think he's going to talk about it. I'm just saying there's some real internal dissent going on at the FBI. And then when you combine that with Pam Bondi, who's like, I guess someday someone's going to tell her she's the Attorney General. Mike, can you get her on the phone? Let her know that she's the Attorney General.
Right.
See if she can do something.
So to that point, I literally walked down to the Washington field office of the FBI and knocked on their door about early December. And I said, hey, look, you guys are looking into this seditious six, these congresswomen and senators that came out in this video. I have evidence that would tie into your investigation. Do you want to talk to me? And, the door person's like, it was a young woman. She was an officer at police. She was an FBI officer, not agent. And
I know the difference. Yeah, like the uniformed division or whatever they are.
And so she said, you got to go through our website. I said, I did. That's what's in the book. And she goes, oh, well, and I said, here's a printout of what I put on the website. So she had to read it. She actually had to walk that printout back into the FBI Washington field office. They have evidence that I'm a witness, and I am not going to report on any further contact I've had with them, but they have evidence that there are witnesses out there that want to testify, and this is a test for the Department of Justice. Are they going to actually act on somebody knocking on the door saying, how else can I be a witness to corruption that involved Joe Biden and Barack Obama? How are you guys ever going to investigate this? So we'll see.
Well, there's multiple areas of this. Obviously, the whole fraud thing, Pam Bondi kind of put out something. We've already been looking into this. Yeah, okay, a little. Maybe you've made a few things, but it doesn't change Eric Swalwell, Chuck Schumer, Mark Kelly, the seditious six, like you point out. There's all these. And my friend Jim Clapper.
Yeah, right.
Clap on, clap off. And John Brennan, who I think they're finally going to get Brennan. I think it's going to happen. But Mike, you know the system better than me on this aspect of it. Why the hell are they taking so long? I mean, to me, most of the stuff the evidence is there. You can put it in front of a grand jury and get the indictments, right? I mean, this is not hard.
I mean, I've literally reached out to Department of Justice people to say, put me in front of a grand jury all throughout the summer from June on. I sent up an information packet to the U.S. Attorney of Washington, D.C. saying, I'm a witness to a crime of corruption that occurred. And this was actually occurring to something that happened in Washington that was by one of their U.S. attorneys. It was, I was basically trying to say, look, I'm a whistleblower. That guy that I turned it into got fired. Because he was old, he was a holdover. So there's a ton of old holdovers that are strangling the process. I don't know if we get there. We are at the verge of knowing this guy, Nick, who was out there. Nick, is his name Nick Searcy, the guy from Minnesota? He knocked on the door. I think we all got to start going and knocking on doors and videotaping ourselves. I didn't videotape myself in front of the FBI. I don't think you want to do that, but I can put about it. I write about it in my Substack.
I expected a lot more. So the one person I see a lot of stuff from is Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi's kicking stuff over. It's like, hey, go do this. And it's like, to me, if I were Pam Bondi and if I were President Trump, I would look at what Tulsi came up with and go over to Pam and it's like, hey, what's going on? You just had the director of national intelligence tell you and give you evidence of a felony. Why haven't you acted?
Right.
To me, that's low-hanging fruit.
Right.
That's easy.
Well, it's easy, but Clause 83 again, except for Democrats. To Pam Bondi's credit, though, she did issue another drop this morning of Epstein file photos, and here's one.
Ooh, that's incriminating. That's horrible.
There he is with all his classmates and his teacher.
And John Travolta's in that one. Wow. That's dynamite. Dynamite.
That's right.
Then we're never going to get
that's Freddie Boom Boom Washington. That's Freddie Boom Boom Washington.
Yeah, they're not getting Horseshack, though, because he can plead insanity.
Oh, yeah.
But
So
that's what
anyway,
happened.
yeah.
All right, quick
It's
question from
ridiculous that we're having this discussion. So let me ask you, Mike, and both of you. First to Mike. Trump has to know what's going on, and I've heard that Susie. I heard from my talking to folks in D.C. Susie Wild is on the chopping block potentially. Pam Bondi, obviously Cash. Do you think Trump's going to do something in January to clean house?
Ooh. I'm on the record as saying that FBI is in disarray. I'm not going to go on the record and say he's got a clean house. I hope they can work this out. I hope,
it's
hope
obvious
they can work this out.
Certain things are beyond our ability to
I hope they're on our side to the point where we have a voice to say, we elected President Trump. We put him in power. He put these people in power to do these things. There are so many voices out there calling for people in handcuffs now, and we're part of them. I don't know if these people are address the pressure they're under in the right way. I have low confidence right now. I'll say that, but I'm not.
Speaking of low confidence, one little side here I want to throw in there before Chris gets back to his list and we're running out of time. But Susie Wild and Vanity Fair, it's like, what the F were you thinking?
Right. Yeah.
Did you really think they were going to acknowledge? Oh, this is off the record. No, it wasn't off the record. You're talking about. No.
Yeah, that was an odd one. I mean, haven't been in the White House press office as many years as I was. They have to kind of keep the door open to the press. I mean, and the other thing is for Susie Wiles, she knows she's got the best press secretary sitting in the Oval Office in American history. So she can come out and say stuff, and they can put out a narrative. And Trump agreed with her. He said, you know what? I kind of agree with it. So there's some leeway there that it's not so fear-based apparently. The fact that she can do this with the enemy means they can go talk to the enemy. That's not a bad thing. That's negotiation. So I'm okay with Susie Wiles doing a Vanity Fair. And, I don't think you have to have the monolithic communications process at this stage of where we are with the Trump administration. We may get there. We may get to a monolithic communications process like they had in the Bush years, like they had in the Obama years. But Trump is his own guy, and that's true. Very obvious every time we hear him talk.
But Mike, I understand what you're saying, and I understand, and we always try to engage folks here on the left, as Chris knows. I always tell them to go reach out to folks. With that said, Vanity Fair is not going to put you in a good light. Just saying, it's like,
no kidding.
Like, how did you not know they were not going to give you all these ruffles and flourishes, all these hugs and kisses? XOXO.
I mean, the front row of the White House briefing room is not going to put you in a good light. I don't know many people in there. Newsmax, a few people on Fox. There's a couple other entities in there that are kind of going straight at the MAGA with the MAGA reporting. But other than that, I mean, jeez.
Well, Newsmax will challenge things. Like I've been on a couple times when I've challenged some of the things they say, and I'd be polite about it, but and I still question some decisions, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, back to Chris. Chris, what else did you want to hit before we?
Oh, I guess you did hit on something very important here. I have to add to this list now. The media's seething jealousy over a couple of situations here. One of them was this issue where new media is being brought in by the Trump administration to ask questions and do things. And these gatekeepers have been saying, no, this can't happen. They've been really jealous over this, but they're also extremely upset and jealous over these independent journalists who are fact checking, who are not editing things and making them sound different, or not even, but they're scooping these people. First off, they don't have to be scooped because these people, I'm guessing a lot of them had management telling them to sit on stories if they were honest reporters, and others didn't bother, or they were lazy reporters taking the word of Democratic administrators in cities. And
let me say this to the record: all reporters, good or bad, if they're working for someone, have stories spiked or sat on. Even I don't want to name names, but I have close friends, as you guys know, who are journalists, and they sometimes are told you can't report on that, even at Fox. Just saying. So
indie guys don't have that, and that's the thing. Indie guys.
That's why I do Substack. And by the way, if you're interested, my Substack is Midnight in a Laptop of Good and Evil.
I gotta pull
Midnight
Check it
that
out.
Club of Good and Evil.
Put that
I'll
up
have
there, Chris.
stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
going to go. I'm be following up on this visit I paid to the FBI. I will
Good.
keep you guys informed.
Yeah, please.
We may get
Well,
some traction there.
I hope
we'll
so.
see.
Well, Mike, President Trump teased about 3 weeks ago now the truckload of evidence of the 2020 election, and there's something coming on that. I know for a fact that.
Yeah.
So,
And
may know some of this
here's
info.
a quick observation from just sort of sitting here. I think a lot of the corruption investigation that the DOJ is sitting on gets released into our public opinion once they culminate the war in Ukraine. I think resolving the war in Ukraine, the Russia-Ukraine war, opens the door for the sort of telling the straight deal about the corruption that was going on in the Obama-Biden years and what the steal of the 2020 election. So that's why they keep dancing away from the solution. I think those Ukrainian guys are in on it and they want to stay away from it. And they keep asking for, safe passage or safe harbor. And, they won't get that. So we'll see how it all lines out.
Yep. I agree. So, Chris, what else you want to cover?
Okay, let's see. The mass immigration is the mass immigration control has been a big story throughout the country. But I want to ask you a question: who's handling immigration better, Donald Trump or the new PM of Japan? Sine
She's a hard ass.
Takaichi. Yes,
she's a hard ass.
She doesn't have the obstacles that Trump has here.
Well, let me say something about Japan. I've been to Japan a lot because I used to work their operation. All I can say about it. But Japan, Mike, have you been to Japan, to Tokyo?
Yeah, a couple times.
They make you feel like a foreigner because you are. They are very. No, it's true. They are very monolithic as a culture. You
they
don't
do not
see
want
people who aren't
foreigners
Japanese.
there.
You don't.
If you're white American, there, you're Gaijin.
I have an example for you.
It is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
But just to throw this in onto Tony's point, that guy Psy, the Korean guy, right? The guy that had that hit Gangnam Style.
Yeah.
Japan would not allow that to become a top hit unless a Japanese artist recorded it. In fact, Japanese baseball pitchers will walk an American or foreign-born player if they approach or if they get close to a record held by a Japanese player, like a home run record. Okay,
right.
So that's to Tony's point. I'm sorry. I
it is what it is. The Japanese are the Japanese. Let them be Japanese. I don't care. By the way, there's a great song. I think I'm turning Japanese, right?
Yeah, that's right.
There's always Japanese Boy by Anika.
I think Japan is a very strong culture. They've got a strong history. They are in need of little babies in that country in a big way. They don't have much little baby making there. So they need some of that going on.
I want to take a little. I'll cover this in 2 minutes or less. So one of the things I want to hit is China. China has the same problem, Mike. You probably know this. So China has literally built their economy on a house of cards. So let me just cover a couple things real quick. They had the one-child policy. One-child policy was bad for two reasons. First, all the children who were born they wanted the only males. So now you have the Bear-Trees effect, where you have something like 40 million males who will never be able to find mates. It's a huge problem. They're importing women. Remember that movie Mars Needs Moms? Well, China needs moms. Just saying.
Right.
And secondly, when they did that one-child policy, they actually diminished the ability to have labor to make things, to basically be blue-collar workers. So now you have this diminished number of people to actually work in industry. And oh, by the way, you've got two generations of retirees, the grandparents and parents who are now retiring, people my age.
Right.
And so you literally have this inverted pyramid where these young kids, who there's less of, have to support this huge number of people who are now retiring. And oh, by the way, when you combine that with the shenanigans going on with governance, I'm a county commissioner. People like me over there have to report to the Politburo, the Central Committee. And the Central Committee stops local jurisdictions from having so much money. So all this infrastructure growth, what they've done is a true Ponzi scheme. So I'm a commissioner, and we don't like what we're getting from, Party Central. So we want more money. So what they do, since they own the land, they're communists. They create a false company. Like I tell Chris, hey Chris, go out and do a company, build a company, and we're going to tell you to do it, and everybody's going to know it's us, but it's a false company. So Chris goes out, does a company, and then we give him land. Hey Chris, we're the Communist Party. We're going to give you land.
No kids here, though.
Chris, yeah, we give Chris the land, and then what does he do with it? He goes to the bank. Hey, I've got this land. It's a world economy, a world economic thing. Give me money. And the bank, knowing that he is a front for the government, they say, "Oh, sure, here's the money." But it never comes back because they can't repay it, because they build railroads, infrastructure, stations, convention centers, all this stuff that doesn't produce any income because there's nobody to go.
Nobody goes there.
Yeah.
Quick add to this.
Nuts. This is nuts.
In 2011, I went to China with Joe Biden. We took a tour through Chengdu, Sichuan, and passed hundreds of 30 to 40 story buildings that were all empty because they followed through on that exact thing. And he went back to Chengdu and gave a speech at the university and said, "You have too many old people. You have too many old people."
Oh.
And that's what started the cooperation between Joe Biden and Xi Jinping to create the Wuhan virus. That's what's in the book.
Yep.
That's what they did.
I have no
they
doubt
had to get rid of old
telling the
people.
truth, my friend.
Well, the
That's
Generation Z types used to joke around and call it the boomer remover
Yeah.
Right. Get his
that's
book.
back in the day. Yep.
Get his book. Talks more about this almost insurmountable evil.
Quick
You need
question
to
for
check
both
it
of you.
out.
Quick
That's
question
right.
for quick question for both of you gentlemen, because it is a big story in Republican circles and of course among young people. And a big story here because it's a 31-year-old man, a young 31-year-old father of two, who got murdered just because of what he was trying to do politically. And he really didn't, he was trying to spread kindness and nicety, if you will.
Right.
But the death and murder of Charlie Kirk is a huge story for a lot of reasons. But what's happened is the left has pounced on this, and a lot of propagandists have tried to push people or kind of use it to stir up some minor disagreements within the Republican, or let's say the large Trump tent, if you will.
Right.
What are your thoughts on this, gentlemen?
I am very super sad about what happened to Charlie Kirk. I think he was doing a great job. I am aghast at the conspiracy theories coming out about his assassination. And I think that was one of the good steps that Kash Patel did when he went out and got the FBI, started kicking butts to get them to get that arrest. I think there's more to that story than we've heard. And they've got to let the investigation run through. So we're going to wait. But there's no question in my mind that Charlie Kirk was had a huge future in our political system. And it's awful what happened. And we've got to stand behind his message.
Yeah, I did. So, Mike, I completely agree with you. My problem is that you have influencers, I will not name names, who are now creating a civil war over the conspiracies right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So I've had a number of calls of close friends. You all would know, I don't want to mention your names, but it's like, yeah, we need to stay out of this war. We're not getting involved, and we're not.
Right.
So I think it's insane. I think we're at a critical time where we should be working on the real enemy. You have people infighting for stupid reasons. I mean, absolutely stupid reasons. So
I think what Vice President J.D. Vance did in the immediate aftermath of that was exactly what needed to be done. He went out there as a personal friend and comforted his personal friendships, the grieving widow, Charlie's grieving widow, and the children, and they took the body down to Phoenix for the burial. And I think that was a really significant, very important step that showed where we need to go. And I'm really glad he made that happen without even questioning, just made that happen. So that's the kind of leadership we need, somebody like that to do things in the right sense. And he's not a divisive person. So Vice President J.D. Vance has been a very strong voice this year in 2025. And so has Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Both are people to watch for the future. And I have high hopes on their performance in 2026.
Well, I have hopes for Tulsi Gabbard too. We're talking about
And
he may
Tulsi,
run in 2028.
Right.
I think Tulsi. Actually said this on the air. It's like because she ran for president of the Democrats. Like she was never going to win with the Democrats.
Mhm.
Like it's never going to happen.
She did better than
You know.
Kamala, didn't she?
I told her at the time, it's like, I consider you a friend, but you're not gonna win. I told the same thing to Bob Barr when he ran for the Libertarian
Oh,
president. It's like, Bob, you're not gonna win. It's not possible. Anyway,
he was a better choice than that Chase Oliver. Okay.
yeah,
So
I
that-
know.
that's
I
another
know.
story.
It was, just saying. Anyway, but back, we got to go. It's been a great show. By the way, condolences to Charlie Kirk and his followers and family. God bless Charlie. Charlie did not deserve the end he got. I'm fed up with the left, demonizing him just because he went out, talked to folks, and made them very upset by his words. Think about this. He got murdered by using the power of his voice, using the protection of our system, which didn't protect him very much, just saying, as a way of changing people's minds. And the left murdered him for that, just saying. So,
And a
sad.
lot of the left danced on his grave after that too. And
literally.
I'm glad to see a lot of prominent people on our side, or in our tent, if you will, did not dance on Rob Reiner's grave, and that's a good thing.
Look, I as you know, the people who follow us know that we have friends who knew him. Cherie Curry, our friend Cherie, knew him,
Yes.
and she actually said on air that she thought he was on the path of redemption, which I think is probably true. I think he wasn't a stupid man, but I think he started recognizing he was being lied to. So I'd rather just acknowledge the fact he was a brilliant filmmaker, did a
Yes.
great job. Did he make Last Tango in Paris? No, he didn't do that. I'm just joking. It's a joke. He didn't make Last. No, don't get me. Don't write to the show. It's a joke.
I know. Hey, his mom had the best line in one of his movies, so I gotta tell you. So that's
What
not
line
too
was
bad.
that, Chris?
But wasn't it his mother? Wasn't it his mother who was in the diner?
No,
during the
that
Harry
was
Met
Bill
Sally?
Crystal's mom.
Yeah, it was Bill Crystal's mom. Okay, so I'll
Yeah, but it was
it's
still
funny,
good.
I don't remember all this stuff, so either way.
I don't remember everything too, but I remember something. So
Yeah.
well, we got to go. So anyway, check out Mike's books. We still my New Year's revolution, besides smoking more expensive cigars, just saying, is to promote the imprisonment of Joe Biden.
Yes.
Yes.
Joe
Let's
Biden,
get that done.
Joe Biden, I think, would be a great guy. He could be Ghislaine Maxwell's putting boy, something like that. And then almost insurmountable evil. The Eric Swalwell story. No. It's not really about Eric Swalwell, but it could be. It could be. So, Mike, God bless you. I appreciate your friendship and your loyalty to the cause of truth. Thank you.
You guys are great. Always a pleasure. It's been a fun year, and we got a lot of challenges ahead, but we're going to get there.
Yep. Yeah. We'll have a sense of humor and good attitudes as we do it. Right, Chris? Mr.
We
Good
try.
Attitude.
We try. And we'll see you next week and next year. We got some big things going on with the Sentinel Circle. Join that on colonel20shaffer.com. You'll see that right on the corner.
We got some
there
great
if you
interviews
want.
coming up. We're going to be talking about shipping. That's a hint. We got to get that lined up, and we may
Human
have the
trafficking.
one of the judges come on if he gets over him being upset with me regarding my stance on Israel. Just saying.
Oh,
So,
boy.
yeah.
So I guess Ben Shapiro's not coming on anytime soon, is he?
Yeah, I'm not changing. So, but why don't you reach out to someone? We would need to get Matt Ho on. Matt would be a great guy to have on to talk about a lot of stuff because he feels our pain. He's a former Green Party guy, but I love Matt. He's a good guy.
I want to bring in. I
he's
do
an
want to bring in
honest
a nice. Right. I do want to bring a nice roundtable of people from left and right who can just talk. We'll just shoot the crap about things.
Did you have some rock and roll stars you would bring on too that are willing to talk to us?
I think so. A couple of them. Well, most of them are on our side, but I'm trying to get a couple of ones that are.
Will one of them take my breath away?
I don't know about that. That I'm not sure of, but we could be putting on the hits.
We could
somewhere.
ask her.
We could be putting on the.
You know the girl from
Yeah.
Missing Persons too, walking in LA. Don't you know her?
She's right now she's very sick right now. She's
sorry
trying
to
to
hear that.
recover from something horrible. And I know there is a GoFundMe offer. See, I
Yeah,
got
well,
the-
promote it.
Right.
Promote it. Yeah, Berlin. No,
right,
it's
we'll do
not
that.
Berlin, but
yeah, I got the Billy Crystal's mother thing wrong from the movie because I confuse all the mothers. But no, I'm not getting this wrong with Dale Bozio. Nice lady,
and I keep teasing
but she's not doing
Bob
well.
Hayes, but I've talked to Bob. Bob says he's going to do it. It's just always the time thing because he lives in freaking Hawaii, so it's always earlier there.
It's not that much.
We'll get Bob on. I promise. I promise. I got to talk to Bob this weekend. Bob Hayes. Who
Maybe he
doesn't
can
love
teach you how to
airplanes?
fly.
Don't call me Shirley.
Oh,
Yeah.
what about
Yes,
Laverne?
it's true, and don't call me Shirley. So,
Huh.
Surely you must be joking.
Oh, or you might be a jester, but I hardly know her. Then stop calling me Shirley.
I have a drinking problem. So,
What is that? You can't find Ripple at 2 a.m. in the morning?
oh my. Well, let's something to look forward for the new year. No, it'll be great. Well, we will deliver by hook or by crook, to quote another show we love, Bob Hayes. So, and we're still going to do some prisoner stuff, right?
Well, we
better
got to
do
get
some
the
prisoner
prisoner
stuff.
stuff together. I do have a nice lineup of people who want to do the prisoner with us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
You
that'll
know
be
about
fun.
that, Mike, right? You know the prisoner?
The old
Series?
TV show with the
Yeah.
big
Patrick McGowan. Yeah.
Bumblebee thing. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. The Rover. That was great.
I actually,
Great.
I want to add this in. I had some fun one day, and I think I was
Just
playing
one
around with
day. You don't have fun
ChatGPT.
every day, just one day.
No, I played around with ChatGTP, and I think we should. I was thinking of doing this with the with the Outhouse Lounge. Find out who would win in a fight between, and use ChatGPT to do the analysis. So I actually did this with Rover versus the dreadful flying glove from the Yellow Submarine movie.
Hmm.
And it was a tough matchup, by the way. But apparently, I think Rover came out the winner inevitably.
Hmm.
The flying
Rover-
glove is fast. The flying glove is faster, but
I'm
Rover
convinced.
absorbs
Now,
heat.
this is my theory of the island, and it's going to drive Mike nuts having to listen to this. But I think there was an alien presence on the island because for Rover to work, you have to have technology that has not been developed yet. I mean, some of that technology, like wireless phones,
Right.
okay, that's kind of forward, and they got it right. But Rover is extraterrestrial. Just saying.
Wow.
And in the last episode, they did have a rocket too.
Well, keep in mind, Rover. There's another. Again, another formidable foe for Rover would be the black smoke from Lost. So it could be a three-way fight between Rover, the dreadful flying glove, and the black smoke monster from Lost. That could be a good matchup.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
I barely remember the prisoner guy just sort of getting chased around by this big white thing.
Yeah. That's Rover.
Rover.
Yeah. Well, if you go back and look at it, Mike, a lot of the stuff that we're faced with, they forecast, and that's
I get
that's
that.
why
Yeah, starting to see that.
there's
aren't
a
they?
great series in is it Fallout? No, it's Free for All. It's for the election where they jump on the smoke. The smoke is like the vehicle of choice. By the way, that's a real military vehicle from the 60s. He has two reporters jump on the smoke and
Oh,
start
yes.
interviewing him out of the, because he's running for office. And they ask him all these questions, and he says no comment. And he says no comment, they're scribbling down an answer like love will enforce new standards for the they're making this shit up in front of him. And then they ask him about the meaning of life, and he starts talking. He says, as he starts talking about the meaning of life, and they say no comment.
The worst of it all is the very end. The very end, the election was fixed anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's-
man.
it's
So
all
it's
relevant.
really that's like the ultimate expression of what we're faced with that episode. That was like
But
That's
it is a
exactly
slamming
right.
jacket. So
I think
Oh,
it was
man.
Free for All, right? Wasn't that the episode Free for All?
it's the election one. I guess that's what it was called. I have to remember that right now. But yeah, and the whole the German lady was the next number 2, no matter what. So it was all. It was surreal, and it's surreal because you're looking at it today, and it's like, wow, how could they have such foresight for the future? I mean,
Yeah,
think
Free
about
for
this.
All.
Right. I mean, Soylent Green was supposed to have taken place in 2023, but The Prisoner seems to pretty much have the future from 67 onward
Huh.
in its sights.
Cool. I got a Soylent Green reference in my new novel, The Big Burn, coming out January 6th on Substack Bookstore.
Well, that's a segue.
There
Congratulations.
you go.
All right. So looks
Well,
like
God
Tony's
bless you, Mike. Thank you for being with us this year. Chris, thank you for running everything, making things work. And we'll see you all in the new year. Happy New Year. Oh, hey, there's
Happy
Paula.
New Year,
Hey,
everybody.
Paula, happy New Year. We're going to get you on,
People
Paula,
love
too.
you.
So,
Yeah. Jamie, we saw Jamie on there. Y'all have
Cousin
a
Vinny.
great New Year's Eve.
Yep.
Don't
MJ.
be Hunter Biden and get into illegal drugs.
Yes.
Just say no.
You
All
got
right?
it.
Don't be Hunter Biden.
All right.
So we'll see you next year.